Dana White's UFC is no longer the sole juggernaut in the fighting circles, and neither are its competitors, such as Bellator and Professional Fighters League, PFL. Here are the 5 most brutal fighting companies that you may never have heard of. At number 5, we have Absolute Championship Akhmat. If you're into fighting, you may have seen this guy's face. Jan is one of the most prolific bantamweight fighters in the world, who took the UFC by storm in his debut in 2018, where he grabbed 3 consecutive wins in the calendar year. He went on to become the bantamweight champion as well. Not many people know that Jan first burst into the MMA scene through his performances at the Absolute Championship Akhmat, aka ACB. ACB is a Russia-based MMA organization that's produced not 1, not 2, but several skilled MMA veterans that are now competing for world championships across the globe. The company promotes MMA, kickboxing, and BJJ matches mainly, and most of its events are held in Russia, which is why it hasn't often gotten the global recognition that it deserves for being as brutal and competitive as it is. Being one of the leading European MMA promotions, the ACB's events are extremely professional with a high level of competition and a new generation of Russian fighters eager to showcase and hone their skills, whether it's BJJ or MMA. Fun fact, in 2018, MMA starlet Augusto Mendez left the UFC to join ACB after Dana White's promotion handed him a suspension after he tested positive for banned substances. He had a fight left on his deal with the UFC, but Mendez reportedly felt at home in the Russian organization. At number 4 is this notorious Polish organization, KSW. It stands for Konfrontacja Sztuk Walki, which means martial arts confrontation in English. One of the reasons KSW has become a household name across Europe is the vicious brand of violence it's brought on over the years, courtesy of fighters like Phil DeFries, Saladin Parnasse, and Marian Golden Boy Zayakowski. Apart from the absolute brutality that it brings, what makes KSW stand head and shoulders above others is its gigantic events. The Polish brand embraces a WWE model of preparing and holding events only twice a year. However, they've gradually been trying to add more and more events per year. The organization takes its due time into creating a story behind every event, and they all visually look different. It rose to fame on social media, particularly after the KSW 39 event that included a live audience of 57,000 people. As for the money, it's been rumored that KSW are treating their fighters really good because of the revenue they generate from their massive audiences. It's believed that some of their top stars make more than the elite fighters of bigger promotions like the UFC or Bellator. Eat your heart out, Dana White. This is one of the reasons former KSW champ Roberto Soldic once claimed to have turned down a UFC contract because KSW was apparently giving him better pay. 3. Rizin Fighting Federation. Rizin is to the fighting world what Disney used to be for us in the 2000s. Over 2 decades back, Rizin was the biggest and baddest MMA promotion, even bigger than the UFC. This Japanese MMA promotion was like the Champions League, but for the world of MMA. Its founders proposed the idea to gather the best fighters from other promotions, have them fight each other, and see who's the best of the lot. One of the reasons why the UFC was UFC in its early days is because of Rizin. The Japanese company produced the coldest, vicious, and skilled MMA legend Mirko Cro Cop that went on to compete in the UFC. Rizin is still a very big name in Japan. Stars like King Mo and Wanderlei Silva were roped in by the promotion in 2016 for a heavyweight tournament. It's hosted a number of freak fights, including one showdown between Japan's kickboxer Tenshin Nasukawa and undefeated former American boxer Floyd Mayweather. 2. M1 Global. M1 is our second most brutal fighting promotion on our list, and guess which country it's based in? The Russian company is basically a lottery for the local fighters because the UFC sees it like a farm league to find the best Russian talent. This started in 2018 when the two promotions signed a deal together for a collaboration. M1 gives them a chance to showcase their skills on the world stage and in front of many people watching. Former UFC lightweight champion and undefeated superstar Khabib Nurmagomedov rose to ranks through his brilliant outings inside the M1 cages. UFC contender Alexander Volkov also competed at M1 for a while before the UFC signed him up. 1. BKFC. The most brutal fighting promotion is none other than Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Why it stands out from the rest is pretty much evident in its name. People want to see clean and violent knockouts, and this is what BKFC provides them with. However, the bare-knuckle fighting is dealt with massive criticism over lack of safety for the involved fighters. It's also come across obstacles like legality and sanctions, but former American professional boxer David Feldman pulled it off in April 2018 somehow when he announced the creation of the controversial promotion. When you hear of bare-knuckle fighting, what instantly pops up in your head is blood. More blood, lots of blood. And you're not wrong. No gloves means more cuts on fighters' faces, and that makes it the most brutal brand of fighting to have been sanctioned in recent times. Bare-knuckle fighting eliminates the idea of having underdogs and favorites. One half-decent blow to your jaw, and you're done. This was all from our top 5 most brutal fighting promotions you've never heard of video. Please subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.